So, thank you all for attending today's session. My name is Jonathan Palmer. I am the Executive Director for Conservation Technology at WCS, and I'm also the SMART Chief Technology Officer. I'm really excited today to talk to you about best practices for deploying SMART and EarthRanger together with my colleague from EarthRanger, Bruce Jones, and my colleague from WCS, Lina, Caro. We're going to start with Bruce giving you an introduction to EarthRanger. We know many of you already know about EarthRanger, but we want to make sure all of you have the background. We'll talk about some of the work we're doing to make sure sensor data can integrate into EarthRanger and SMART. Lina is going to take you through some really exciting case studies that we've worked on over the last year or so. And then I'm going to provide a bit more details on some of the thoughts about how you can get SMART and EarthRanger to work together, including sharing the experience and plans for WCS. So with that, with my pleasure, I'd like to introduce Bruce Jones from EarthRanger. Please give him a warm welcome.
Morning, everybody. Okay, so a little bit of introduction about what EarthRanger is in case you're not aware of it, and then a bit later on how we are integrating into and from SMART. And as Jonathan said, we'll hand over for some of the use cases. So probably the fundamental difference between EarthRanger and SMART is that we cater for real-time tracking of assets, whether those are animals or vehicles or people. So we did originally start with APIs going from now over 100 different manufacturers of tracking devices that come into EarthRanger via those APIs. And that goes into a central web app, and the source could be either the web app itself or from a mobile app, so that it is used in a real-time operational aspect. And that gives you one unified view of what's going on in real time in your protected area. So I did mention that we have a web app and a mobile app, very much like Smart Mobile. Where's Justin with CyberTracker? So we used to use CyberTracker. We still have CyberTracker integrated, but we've been developing our own mobile app recently, which is available in the field, either in connected way or offline as well. So the typical sort of use cases, and like with most apps or web apps that have been started in Africa, we started with very much a law enforcement focus, looking at anti-poaching. So that is probably where the biggest development, or most of the development, took place. But all of those same processes can be expanded into ecological management, very similar to SMART in these aspects. Human-wildlife conflict or coexistence is also a big aspect that we deal with. And then also, and Rich, in your presentation yesterday, or maybe it was Emma's, logistics, like potholes and washaways being captured. So anything that has some sort of geospatial aspect to it that you need to capture in the field can be captured in EarthRanger as well. And this is where we start looking at some of those integration points between EarthRanger and SMART as well, so that you don't have, trying to avoid having two platforms to do the same thing, so that you try and stick with one platform for one use case. So this is a typical sort of operations room, and this is the same operations room that was on one of the pictures yesterday. That's Grumeti in Tanzania. So you can see multiple screens in real time of the area and a couple of other screens showing real-time data. But this is very much from a law enforcement and operational management point of view. So you'd have all of your collared animals coming in, you'd have your digital radios, you'd have the vehicles, and other personnel tracking devices like Garmin inReaches and SWAT devices, LoRa devices. So anything that can send through that real-time tracking data can come through into EarthRanger. And what you can then do with it is you can manage the protected area accordingly depending on the use case. So from a law enforcement point of view, you can set up operations, you know where your people are, so you can set off ambush points, cutoff points. If people are needed in a certain area, you can tell them what bearing and distance to go because you know exactly where they are. But this can also apply, and I'll talk a bit about it later, just from a normal ecological management point of view as well, where it doesn't have to be an operations room. It could just be an office where you're running the web app, and you do need to know where your field staff are. Patrol management, we also have a patrol management capability, but again, I don't want to, we are trying to avoid to have duplicate systems. If you are only looking at EarthRanger, you can start, stop, and record events through a patrol management functionality. If you're using smart patrols, rather use that so that you don't get this mix of apps. Wildlife monitoring, this is where we do a lot of work, where we have species-specific conservation organizations using our software so that they can monitor where tracked animals are. Here in Namibia, we've got Giraffe Conservation Foundation, we've got Cheetah Conservation Foundation, ERA, NUST, etc. So a lot of the species are monitored, and it could either be from an ecological point of view or from a human-wildlife conflict point of view, which is an example that is, again, here in Namibia, where free-roaming desert elephants are tracked with proximity alerts or geofence boundary alerts around waterholes in villages so that villages can be warned in time, as well as the MEFT personnel that are managing those animals. So that's very much real-time alerts and management from an ecological point of view. We can also monitor some of the ecological aspects, so field conditions, grasses, soils, etc. We are probably a little bit behind SMART from an array point of view, and I don't mind admitting to those sorts of things, but we can, if you only a pure EarthRanger site, you can do ecological management as well with those sorts of arrays. And then for those of you that are involved with marine protected areas as well, there's no reason why, well, we've got a lot of use cases where turtle nests, etc., are captured, and bird mortalities, seabird mortalities. But we've also got a sister product called Skylight, which is an illegal fishing early warning system, and trying to figure out if there's any sort of illegal activities on the seas, and we've integrated into that. So a little bit further up the coast in Congo-Brazzaville, Pukundu, forgotten the name of the site. But what they're doing is that they will find entry alerts from vessels that have their tracking systems on, the AIS systems. Those can come through into EarthRanger as an entry alert, but then you can go and investigate further with Skylight to see if there's been any transshipments, any trawling type of activities, whether they are dark vessels or if they've got the AIS on or not. So that very high level is a little bit about the functionality of EarthRanger. So this is just a summary: collects, unifies, and displays real-time data. Has its real-time operational planning, response, and analysis, but we would rather, at this stage, move that across to the SMART type of queries. We're backed by the Paul Allen Family Foundation through one of the organizations, Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence. I see it's cut off a bit there. So everything is for free from our point of view. We don't have an invoice book. And so we host it, we support it, we develop it at no cost to the end user. Obviously, there are real costs like the hardware and the other infrastructure and tracking devices that are required. So then we get on to the integration. So between ourselves and the SMART partnership, we've set up a platform called Gundi. If you understand Swahili, it does mean glue. So it's an integration engine that so we're decoupling those APIs out of EarthRanger, putting it into this integrations tool, which is like an ETL tool on steroids, so that you can receive information from anywhere and push it to anywhere, whether that's from various tracking devices to EarthRanger or to SMART, or from SMART to EarthRanger, or EarthRanger to SMART, or if you're going to Esri or any other sort of tool, the intention is for this to be that integrations tool. What it does from a SMART point of view, very high level, and this is just purely from a functional point of view at this stage, and this is a snapshot of where we are. From a SMART independent incidents point of view, if I'm getting my terminology right, via queries we can push those data into EarthRanger as events, and vice versa as well. So if you have event types, if for some reason you're capturing field observations in EarthRanger, you can push those through into SMART as independent incidents as well. If you have patrol waypoints, those can also, via queries, go into EarthRanger as patrol events, and reverse as well. If you capture events in EarthRanger patrols, you can push them into SMART as patrol waypoints. And then a couple of the things in between, unfortunately, as far as I understand it, the architecture of SMART won't manage the real-time aspect of animals being tracked. So those types of data won't be supported at this stage. And then obviously the patrol tracks, and I've got a bit of a duplication here, patrol tracks from SMART going into EarthRanger and vice versa are supported. Well, yeah, so beg pardon, that's not available yet from SMART into EarthRanger, but we will do that at some stage. So looking at these, and yeah, this is also a little bit of a punt for my colleague Chris Deering's talk after this session, I think after tea, which goes into a little bit more detail of what Gundi is about, so you can get more into the technical aspect of it. But this is more just a functional aspect. So having looked at the, in principle, how we are integrating some of the functionality, then it's practically how do we actually go about this? So I'm going to hand over to Lina here from Colombia, who will talk a little bit about some of the practical aspects of how these integrations are working in other parts and in real cases. Thanks, Lina.
Thank you, Bruce. And welcome, everyone. Well, today I'm going to present some study cases that we have. And my main motivation to talk about these cases is because we are still using SMART, but we found like an added value to use EarthRanger. And it doesn't mean more work for, in this case, for our environmental authorities and so on. But it is just something that can help us for the planning in the protected areas. So this first case is a marine protected area. As we were looking in the previous example, we can integrate here skylight. And we agreed here with starting with baby steps first, because there is a whole capacity in the Regional Environmental Authority here, that is Lina, that manage this protected area that is called Sea Flower. So these baby steps are just, we are using SMART, patrols, a data model, and then this data model is integrated through queries, all the observations through Connect to EarthRanger. And also we are using here report templates for the authority processes, and they also have this information in SMART. Once we have this information in EarthRanger, the observations, we integrate that with the skylight, so we can see in the protected area the human activities in the terrestrial part, but also like the vessels and so on in the marine part. And also one thing that we discussed with Lina, the environmental authority here, was to also the ranger coverage analysis using heat maps. And you can see an example here in the image, how you can see the position of the rangers, how long they stay there, and also the alerts about the reports they have from SMART. The other example is La Carranchina Natural Reserve. It's actually a private reserve in Colombia. It's managed by WCS Colombia. And basically here, this protected area is for La Carranchina, which is an endemic and threatened species. It's a turtle. And this species is being evaluated in the years with WCS. And today we want to have all information in SMART collected from the turtle position and ID. We do this through incidents, and also the patrols to understand if there are some threats on these protected areas. And this is integrated in EarthRanger with Global Forest Watch and firms, fires, and we don't have only the protected area polygon, but also like a buffer that is around the protected area, so that we have these alerts from Global Forest Watch and firms. And finally, what we want to test, and we're starting just now, is LoRaWAN also to, for some devices in the turtle to have the position of the turtles as well, and all this integrated again in EarthRanger to have a really nice view of what is going on with all this information and understand our planning and management in this protected area. And on behalf of our WCS Asia team, I'm also going to present two other cases. This one, the first one is in Cambodia. And so here again we can see SMART and EarthRanger integrated. And the SMART solutions can be seen along Global Forest Watch, GLAD alerts, and fire alerts as well. And this can help the patrol plans and is already operational for making decisions in the area. As a result, they have this very interesting and rich map where they know where the forestation is occurring, but also the human activities are happening where are happening, and they define these hotspots so that to understand where to prioritize all these conservation actions and also enhance law enforcement. And the other one is in Mongolia, in South Gobi, and this one is very interesting because the government is here protecting the ungulates, and the idea is to reduce poaching, wildlife trade, and illegal mining. And one of the problems here with the ungulates is that, they have migratory patterns, and then, of course, they move along in the area, and if we have, for instance, infrastructure like roads or railways, this can be a barrier for the migratory way. So basically what they want also is to track these animals and understand their movements. And also to ensure the safety of the teams and follow the teams and see where they are, and if they have any remote problems, just access to some help. So they are implementing, they are starting actually to implement SMART and EarthRanger integrations in the sites that they are using already SMART. And the desire here is, again, to see the animal movements and with all this information with the rangers as well, to just track these species and see, again, the problems that they are having in the same platform. So this is, again, very useful for many decisions in these protected areas. And we are still in this stage of testing, but I think we've gone a really nice progress so that we can just understand the benefit of integrating SMART and EarthRanger. Thank you so much. And with this, I'm just going to pass the podium to Jonathan Bulmer.
Thank you, Lina. So hopefully you're getting the picture. EarthRanger is a really compelling, valuable tool that allows you to view things in real time. It also allows you to see hotspots of activity, and it has a beautiful time slider so you can see how things have moved across a landscape and changed over time. At the same time, I'm sure many of you are thinking about how do I fit these two tools together in a way that works easily. So on the first day of the conference, I was lucky enough to be sitting with a colleague of mine, Ben Evans, who works in Ndoki. And they've been working with EarthRanger and SMART for a number of years. And they're really happy with how things are working. But he said to me, look, I have data in EarthRanger and I have data in SMART, and I need it all in one place. A dream for him, he said, a dream for him would be to ensure any observation you record in EarthRanger can be pushed back over into SMART. And they were his words. That would just be a dream if we could do that. What's really cool is 2 weeks from today, we're going to be releasing an update to SMART that we've worked on in collaboration with EarthRanger, which will allow you to take your data model or parts of your data model and say, I want that to be available as a form or a report, as it's called in EarthRanger, and it will push it over into EarthRanger and then ensure every observation you record in EarthRanger feeds back into SMART. And so you will have all your observation data in one location. So we're really excited about that, not just because we're making Ben's dream come true, because we know this is going to simplify deploying SMART and EarthRanger for every organization that takes that on. So hopefully you're also beginning to get a picture of how EarthRanger can be useful for sites that are using SMART. Remember, it has that incredibly powerful real-time map that has hotspots, that has a time slider. So it's a great tool. If you want to bring in alerts, such as Global Forest Watch and Firms alerts, and see those as they're coming up in real time, you can do that in EarthRanger. A second really great feature of EarthRanger is you can actually take all your SMART data and push it into EarthRanger, and you can use that hotspot map to create incredible hotspot maps of SMART data and see over time how things have evolved with SMART. Again, you can use that same map with your telemetry data. You can watch where your elephants move over time, or where your staff and vehicles move over time. As I mentioned, we now have that integration where you can feed that data back into SMART. So you can ensure any observation data that people are typing into EarthRanger feeds back in and is there with your patrol data, your independent incidents, and other data you have in SMART. And then I think the fifth thing, which is increasingly important for WCS, and I know for many of us, EarthRanger is an excellent tool for helping with real-time security. Rohit mentioned in his presentation this morning how many rangers there are, on the planet who don't have real-time communication. With tools like InReach, it is relatively affordable to ensure every ranger team on the planet has real-time communications and their operations staff can know where they are. And EarthRanger provides an incredible tool for doing that. There are many things that SMART provides that we encourage you to keep doing in SMART. Your world is complex. What you see and what your rangers see on the ground matters. And that's what SMART has been built around. It's been built around giving you the tools to model that complex world in a really simple interface. What you can do in SMART with a SMART data model is something that is so core to SMART and focused on your needs. And certainly, for WCS, our recommendation is we will use that for every single place we work in globally. But equally for us, EarthRanger is critical for our real-time operations. It is the tool that we will be recommending for all our sites globally for real-time operations. And so we're working with basically supporting 3 very simple ways of deploying tools. One is standalone SMART. There are some countries in the world that will not allow you to put data in the cloud. And for those, we're using standalone SMART and using the incredible functionality that EarthRanger have made available in Gundy to at least get some of that alerting information and some of that sensor data into SMART. Secondly, for sites that don't have real-time operations room, but want to be able to dip in and see Global Forest Watch alerts, they want to use that rich map within EarthRanger to look at the heat map and the time slider. We're using this new feature called SMART with Embedded ER, which uses that integration of the configurable models, but also allows you to open up EarthRanger within SMART and view your SMART data in the EarthRanger interface. And then the third approach we're taking is where we've got a team that have a real-time operations room and are doing a lot of data collection with SMART. And we're running those in parallel. SMART will be our data collection tool. SMART will be our tool for adaptive management. SMART will be our tool for reporting on all of observation data. And EarthRanger will be our tool for real-time operations. And we're deploying those together. So as you all think about whether and how you're going to use SMART and EarthRanger together, start by clarifying your needs. What are you trying to achieve? Don't get caught in this silly debate about which is better or which is, which one should I focus on. Think about what your needs are. Think about what you want to achieve. If you can, keep it simple. Yeah? As I mentioned, WCS, we've got 3 very simple ways we're going to deploy these tools. And if you keep it simple, things will work together. You'll have your data in one place. People will know how to follow operating procedures because it is simple and clear. And then as you think about deploying SMART and EarthRanger together, figure it out collaboratively. It's still early days in us figuring out how to do this. Do not go off and try and figure it out on your own or work just with SMART. Work together with SMART and EarthRanger to figure out what is going to be the best approach for your sites, for your locations. So with that, I want to thank you for your time today. I want to just again thank Bruce and Lina, and I'll open up to the floor. Any questions? Yeah.
We are loading data in Smart Mobile, and it's going through to EarthRanger. Are you saying now that also if somebody should load then in EarthRanger, it'll also come back to Smart? Or will it still be set up that you're going to just do it one way? Either data in EarthRanger loaded in Smart shows in EarthRanger, or you do it in EarthRanger and it comes to Smart, or is it going to be bi-directional?
So I missed the beginning of the question. Do you want to just repeat it?
So do I understand correctly? At the moment, we've got it set up that we load our data in Smart Mobile, and it'll show in EarthRanger. Are you also saying now, am I understanding correctly, in the beginning of your talk, you said that you can also now load in EarthRanger and come back to Smart. Is it going to be bi-directional? So can we have it set up that whether they load in Smart Mobile or EarthRanger, it's all going to come together? Or do you have to set it up in one direction and you must choose beforehand which direction?
So as was shown in Bruce's slide, we can do these bi-directional integrations. So we can support data coming into EarthRanger, going to Smart, coming into Smart, going to EarthRanger. Bi-directional integrations are always more complex, yeah? And if you can, just keep it simple. If you can achieve your goals with a simple workflow, then do it with a simple workflow. And certainly for WCS, how we're going to be implementing Smart and EarthRanger is all data collection with Smart Mobile, all of that flowing into Smart and going into EarthRanger, with one small exception, which is anything that is critical for real-time operations will pop directly, use Smart Mobile to pop it directly into EarthRanger.
Okay, then just on that, if there is going to be the ability to then load in EarthRanger and going to SMART, is EarthRanger's data model capabilities also then going to improve? Because I know Bruce and I certainly have had discussions. There's a lot that's SMART with SMART 7 now that we can do with your configurable models that is not possible in EarthRanger yet. So is EarthRanger's data model capabilities also then going to come up to SMART level, or?
Let's hear from Bruce on that, and then I'll have some thoughts as well.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, Debbie, your first question, we would definitely recommend that you choose one database as your master rather than having a bidirectional sync. So just choose either SMART or EarthRanger as your main database. As far as the data model is concerned, yes, we are developing it so that it is compatible. Not there yet, but we will have that probably before the end of the year.
Yeah, and I think to add to that last question, if any of you are coming to the next presentation where we're talking about the need for us to ensure not only technologies are compatible, but we're not duplicating approaches or duplicating the effort you need to do to model your world or to report on your world or to integrate sensors. You know, I think many of us share the belief that SMART has not only the most powerful data modeling approach, but that data modeling approach, we would like to see other tools to support. We would like other tools to have that power, the power of the SMART data model. So yeah, that's great to hear, and we hope EarthRanger and SMART data models converge over time. Any other questions? Can we get the mic down here?
I would like to thank the presentation first of all, and I do have one question. For a long time we have been used the GIS and remote sensing application, and I know it's difficult with access, affordability and others. What is the difference between the integration of the two SMART and using the SMART with EarthRanger and remote sensing and GIS? Because we can do many things with that. Where is the difference? If I'm not confused, I don't know. If you say something, please.
So let me reflect that back to make sure I get the question. You're seeing SMART, you're seeing EarthRanger, and you're seeing GIS tools, and you're saying, well, why SMART and EarthRanger? We've got GIS tools that can do the mapping. What's the difference? Is that correct? Yeah. So I think you could do everything. You could do everything you do with SMART and everything you do with EarthRanger. You could do that in QGIS, you could do it in ArcGIS if you wanted. It would cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in consultancy to integrate those sensors, to work with a consultant, say from Esri, to create a data model. You could use a tool like Survey 123, but it wouldn't have the capabilities that are tuned and focused on the needs of rangers. And so, yeah, you can use enterprise GIS platforms to do anything with data management and geospatial data management. But if you want tools that are focused on your needs, that are easy to use, that are affordable, yeah, we'd like to say they're free, and the technology is free, but implementing SMART and EarthRanger is not free. You've got to invest in your staff. You've got to invest in your tools. Affordable, easy to use, tailored to your needs, supported by a global community, then for wildlife protection, for ecological monitoring, and for a broad range of other uses, you're going to use SMART and EarthRanger. And what we're really excited about today is we're making that one step closer to us having a situation where it's easy for you to understand how to get those two tools working together. Thank you.